Supposing you heard when you were living in Israel 2,000 years ago, and you had heard of a man called Jesus. You had never seen him, but you heard there's a man called Jesus who's doing miracles and having big meetings. And you go to one place to hear this advertised, this Jesus is speaking here. And you come there and there's a huge crowd. And there's this platform where this person called Jesus is standing up there. And sitting on the platform are Herod and Pilate and the bishop Annas and Caiaphas, all sitting there. And Jesus says, now I'm going to invite the Honorable Herod to come and say a few words. And Herod comes forward and says, this Jesus is doing a great work for our community. And if you give him some money, I'll give you tax deduction from if you give money to Jesus. And then Jesus says, now the Bishop Ananias, Right Reverend Annas, will come and open the meeting in prayer. Annas and Caiaphas pray. And then Judas Iscariot comes forward and he's the treasurer, you know. He says, work like this, Jesus is doing a great work and it needs money. So friends, Herod has promised that if you give money, he will give you a tax deduction. So be sure to give your name and address. And this is Jesus is doing a great work for Israel. And you listen to all this and say, hey, this doesn't sound like the Jesus I heard of. This seems to be another Jesus. So when you hear a preacher today in the 21st century doing that in the name of Jesus, how do you swallow what he does? It shows how blind you are to think that is the ministry of Jesus. It is not. Can you imagine Jesus doing that? But it's happening. It is Babylon, the harlot riding on the beast, if you want to understand it. And then, the real Jesus would never have any of those people sitting on the platform. And if Judas Iscariot ever gets up, he'll tell him to shut up and sit down. So, we see how there's a counterfeit Jesus today. This is how the harlot church is being built.